Oh, never mind. It didn't give me no intro video because I ain't got one. He got me this hat and he got me a Chicago Bulls hat. Um, that I rock with, man. Shout out to Lonzo Ball, by the way, coming back,
He
playing
was
playing
decent.
15 minutes. Yeah, man. Like he's never. I think he said it. He's not going to be the same as he was, but whatever he can contribute to the team, he said he's down for that. So shout out to him, man, and shout out to y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. Um, I'm not gonna do the standard intro because this is Thursday night potluck. Thursday night potluck is a little bit of a show that we do where it's just maybe sometimes me and Ward get together. We can't get to every topic I want to get to. I pull up on Thursdays. I got some things I want to talk about, but we also want to hear from you. If you want to pull up, you can pull up, chat, rap with us for a few minutes. Not literally rap. We're not trying to hear no bars. This is not a Twitter space, but holler at us for a few minutes, talk about what you want to talk about, man, and interrupt the conversation. You can pardon the interruption if you will. Shout out to Mr. Tony and Mike Wilbon. Um, but as you can see, I got my guy A Ward in the building. What's up with you, man?
Not much, man. Not much. Just nice little Thursday. Feels like a Friday for some reason. I don't know why, but it just feels like a Friday.
I wish it was, man. I wish it
Yeah,
was. Like I don't normally live for the weekend, but boy, oh boy, could I use a weekend right now.
yeah, yeah. It's a good weekend too. So
Absolutely, absolutely. So I will say the only standard intro I got is as you watch this, please share the broadcast, hit a like button, repost, retweet. Um, Go to the podcast page. It's a black and white thing, or at Brains and Bars. Give us 5 stars. Share the broadcast. Share that broadcast. If you're watching us live on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and share that as well. Tell a friend and tell a friend it's those guys again. So we got a few things we want to get into tonight. In our like next 30 to 45 minutes, we'll see how the conversation flows and goes. So, but we want to start off with first. Shout out to Rosenberg Raw. Shout out to the Frozen Bro Show, one of the best battle rap podcasts around within the culture. And he put a tweet up this week, and he said, "What do we need to do to get sponsors to come back to battle rap?" We've seen over the last couple of months a couple of high profile sponsors for various reasons choose to say that they are no longer going to be sponsoring battle rap. Gerald McCoy being one of them. Shout out to Frank White, excuse me. He has sponsored a couple of your Jones, a couple of your battles. I think he's got like a couple of more announcements. He said that he is stepping away from the culture. But I think beyond that, Frozy was talking about not just that type of sponsor, but he was talking about how can we get the large brands? How can we get shout out to Rome, right? The nicest, right? That is sponsored by Amsterdam Vodka, I believe.
mhm.
And it had a couple of battles drop this week. So if you haven't, yours will be dropping, I think, this weekend.
Monday, yeah.
Yep. So, they had Ilmac and Thesaurus. That was the first drop from this particular set of the nicest battles. And then Hollow the Don and Big K just dropped. So go check those out. Go to YouTube, check out the nicest and watch those battles. So his Frozenberg's really big question was how do we get the Amsterdam vodkas? How do we get the Budweisers? How do we get the national name brands to join in and sponsor battle rap? And so what do you think needs to happen within the culture for a large name to attach itself to battle rap?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I've always said that I don't think it can. I've always said I think there's a ceiling. Just with battle rap being so free artistically, as far as what you say, how you attack your opponent, angles and different things like that. Like it's a sport that is 90% about devaluing, degrading, and exposing or trying to paint a negative image on your opponent. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's verbal. It's not like just punching somebody or athletically tackling somebody or whatever. It's written out verbal insults. You know what I mean? At whatever level you want to take it to. And Roan is able to do that because his is a novelty piece of battle rap where it's compliment battles. Like there are parameters placed on them, and so now New Amsterdam Vodka doesn't have to worry about somebody coming in there and saying, this, that, or the third, and if they do, then, I'm sure that it would be edited out or something to the extent, because it's
Yeah.
understood that this more of an uplifting part of the art form. Um, but like I just don't foresee, like Budweiser or whoever just to be able to sponsor a battle rap event, slap their brand on it, put their banner, put their whatever, throw money at something, and literally, even though it's art and even though it's whatever, have some of what, fat shaming, gender preference, like there's just so much, that goes within, like just the racism, like there's just like open all kinds of things like that in battle rap. And so,
Yep.
and then the last thing you really want to do with battle rap is say, well, we want the money so much that we're willing to, sacrifice the integrity of how we rap. You know what I mean? And if you want to do that, you just go to Wild 'N Out. I mean, it's pretty simple. Like you just go to a commercial, back and forth clowning, roasting style session or whatever. But as far as like the pureness and the integrity of just like hip hop and like rapping or whatever, like I just don't foresee it being able to be possible. Now, one more thing before you start, guys like Gerald McCoy and Frank White, they need to understand: are they silent sponsors because they're fans of the sports and want to see certain battles happen? And if so, just stay that and still sponsor and still see certain battles happen. You can do that. That's very possible. But the minute you want to be involved, and the minute that the politics come into it, and the minute you're throwing out this kind of money and this person saying this, and then people are going to you as a sponsor because they know you're a sponsor and you're becoming a part of the battle rap circle, of course, all the toxicity and politics of it are going to make you just be like, man, forget this. You know what I mean? This is not what I was in it for, So you have to just ask yourself, do you really want to just hide back in the shadows? And I'm sure both of them will be like, I tried to, but I know both of them. You know what I mean? I know there's some times where, they wanted to say, hey, I sponsored this battle, or I did this, or I did that, or, that once you tell a battle rapper, that you're the one giving the money or whatever, it becomes more, public knowledge. And so I look at those type of sponsors, like there still can be silent sponsors. And then there's a third type of sponsor you look at, like Al Capone Cigarellos, where I feel like it's kind of like a brand that's like getting off of the ground and is willing to lose money to build a foundation or build a brand or build, something that's in your face all the time, And those are kind of, battle rap can be for some startup companies because it's like, yo, here's me, I remember there was like an eyewear, that they used to do on grind time battles, and they had a little song in the beginning, and it's always been stuck in my head for 20 years, you know what I mean? And it's like, yo, like I'm willing to pay some money to have my little commercial or whatever as a startup brand. So there's 3 different types of sponsors, but I don't foresee us ever being able to have the big time ones because, I mean, battle rap is just too negative.
So you don't think that so I think a lot of the comments and a lot of responses to Rosenberg's tweet was that professionalism. Like if I had to kind of crowdsource the responses, there were lots of different responses, but I feel like professionalism was one of the biggest that we saw, right? And I think we've had, some incidents of artists choking, no shows, going back and forth with leagues in public, right? Disputes of that nature. Do you think that if from the league standpoint and the battler standpoint, if we got to a point to where everything was on the up and up, professionals in the contracts, professional in time limits, not going over time limits, showing up prepared, giving a good effort, no matter whether it's URL or whether it's some smaller league, you don't think that that might attract talent or attract the brand, attract the brand to maybe say, you know what, I'll give a shot to this. I understand that it's degrading. I understand that it's negative.
It's gotta be a brand that is like doesn't have the high risk factor. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like when you're just talking about like Bud Light, or something like that, they're just like, they make too much money to be worried about, somebody popping off and saying, some Kanika jink, bar that T-Top, said or whatever in a round. Or, Arsenal pulling out a phone of his opponent's baby mama, you know what I mean? Like there's just
the first event, the very debut on Caffeine with Fox tied to it, and he's got revenge porn popping up in his battle. But yeah,
but yeah, it's just like, like I'm sure there's like maybe some companies that are a little edgy or a little, that maybe they can co-brand with, well, we don't give a hell either. You know what I mean? Like we're non-censored either. So, it is what it is. But I just don't, I don't know. But I mean, I do think that like, if you turn battle rap into like kind of like how King of the Dot was trying to do with the season and everything, if you turn battle rap into what you would hope to be as professional, where you're guaranteeing matches every month and you're guaranteeing a certain bag. Now you have guys on contract almost as if they're like teams and they're playing each other every other week.
Yep.
And now you're still gonna see guys not show up. You're still gonna see guys. What up, Nate? You're still gonna see guys choking. Choking is sometimes prep and it's sometimes just you. You know what I mean? Like it's sometimes late prep and it's sometimes so some guys just don't got it. To be honest with you, like some guys, they could prep for 2 months and then when they get up there, still choke, because it's not an easy thing to do. Like it's not. But yeah, I mean, if you were able to kind of increase the professionalism and I think increasing the professionalism would have to separate battle rap heavily, though, right? So like right now, it's not like the NBA in the G League, right? Like it. Whereas you're like, these are the NBA players. These guys are on 2-way contracts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right now, people are battling any and everybody on any and every card or whatever, just getting bags or whatever. And even the big names, the LeBron Jameses, are still hooping, with the freaking, Isaiah Roby's. I don't even know that guy. Is that a guy's name? I don't remember. I thought it was like a Roby or
That
anyways.
sounds really familiar.
It sounds like a name that would just be a G League name. Forgive me, my guy, for that. But but it's like like there's no disconnect. You know what I mean? Like there's no cutoff. There's no hey, you didn't make the team. You're not a professional battle rapper. And so I think that if you were to try to create professionalism in battle rap, you would have to ask yourself, how many of these do we going to consider professional, and how many are we going to actually put this money towards and say, all right, our brand is for this group of people when they're battling each other on these types of stages.
Oh, by the way, Isaiah Roby is a real name. He played at Nebraska. That's a great pool, by the way, because it's not like you picked a blue blood basketball school. Um, so he's playing. I think ULM is in Germany. That's me pulling that out, off the top of my head. Let me
Let's
see.
go.
Or is that University of Louisiana Monroe? No, that can't be. No, 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 no. I think that's Germany. Yeah, it's a city in Germany. All right. So yeah, so I agree. Hold on, let me get this comment here.
It's all water right now, my guy. It's all water. It's all water.
So you know who battle rap could use? Like if somebody can somehow get this material in front of him, it's Dana White. Dana White. Dana White has a league that has guys from diverse backgrounds with various viewpoints. He started a whole slap battle league, which is doing, I don't know if it's thriving, but it's doing well. I've never watched it, but people were like, what is this? This is inhumane. Like, this is crazy. You got
Me
people
too,
literally
because Jeremiah
slapping each
Watkins was
other.
a champion for a while.
Who's that?
Jeremiah, my buddy that went to LA and became a comedian. Didn't you like go see us with him before? He was on the Kill
Oh,
Tony show for like years, and he's from Olathe, and he's like one of my he sings on Swing Wide, my first ever album. Like, yeah,
wow. No, I didn't know that. Wow, crazy. So I mean,
yeah.
he created this whole thing and like that's a brand where doesn't care, is going to let you get your bars off, say what you want, not afraid of being canceled. I do agree. Like, what was the show? I feel like battle rappers wrote for this show. It was hosted
Drop the
by
mic. Drop the mic.
yeah. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like in order to go mainstream, like you said, it's going to have to be something like that, where the insults are more ha ha funny,
Yeah.
or more like, ooh, you kind of hit below the belt there versus, oh my God, what are you saying to him right now,
It's
right?
not even
Like,
the insults either, though. It's the layered metaphors and like different things like that too, and references and all that kind of stuff too. Like you're gonna have to completely commercialize and make things so digestible, to where it's like, Trey Pound, like, like just things like that, DE, gun references or like all that kind of stuff is just not gonna be, you know, on the level of what people kind of understand.
I mean, you had a girl basically launch a social media career off a hot tool. I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to sit here and sell the public short that you guys couldn't take the slang for a gun, the blicky, DE, the 4 5. Like, I'm not going to sell people short that they couldn't quickly pick up on those things. It's just, can you do it in a way that is, like you said, that is not necessarily digestible, but is catchy, I guess is the word
Yeah,
I'm looking for. But yeah, I think I say this. I think being professional will go a long way towards helping that and towards getting battle rap where it wants to be in terms of getting bigger bags, getting those types of sponsors. And to be honest, I'm gonna be real. Y'all got to treat the sponsors y'all got now. I hate to get biblical, but like faithful, you've been faithful over a few. Now I'm going to make you ruler over many. Like you can't run
yeah,
off every single person that shows up in the culture with whatever intentions they have, right? Because I do think that Gerald, I'm going to use since you mentioned them, I do think that Gerald McCoy, I do think that Frank both had good intentions. I'm going to pick on Frank in particular because Frank has done a lot of not just really big battles, but he was a part of the whole spaces scene and putting money on the floor for space battlers to make a little extra bread, right? So I think that when a sponsor shows up, it can't be everybody rushing to that sponsor, and if you don't get what you want, well now it's bleep them, it's screw them, they're trash. They're just not that. So I will say from that standpoint, I think marketing, I think ballers have to become a lot more marketable. However you choose to do that in this age, you got to be able to be more marketable. You got to be more fan friendly, somewhat to a degree, family friendly, right? Maybe you don't curse as much. Maybe you have a battle where you don't. Shout out to Arsenal. Arsenal dropped the whole project. No cursing in it, right? Maybe you have a battle where you don't curse, and that becomes an angle within itself of I just killed you and I didn't say a single blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you have to take those types of angles to be able to get people into the sport, right? And to draw
I think
them
that's
in.
kind of like showing itself too a little bit with like trying to go viral on TikTok, trying to go viral in different things. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to create material, but just in the back of your mind, you're just like, hey, if I'm overly cussing or if I'm talking about some crazy, you know what I mean? Like these are not the
Yep.
bars that I'm going to clip down and post, on my YouTube shorts or my. So I think some of that is kind of like, some of the censorship is kind of like, creating those thoughts in writers and guys' minds or whatever. But I do think too, like when you saw like DNA and K Shine and who else was it? Geechee and at the BET Awards when they did battle
Yep.
rap at the BET Awards.
Yep.
Like it was received well, but those guys obviously changed how they rapped. I mean, they a lot more current event, a lot more referencing, the what BET Awards itself. It wasn't like a, I'm battling you. It was like a who can be the
How many
most entertaining.
in 2 minutes?
Yeah,
Yep.
in two
How
minutes.
many
Yeah.
references can you drop in 2 minutes?
Mhm.
And that's cold, Los. That's
All
cold.
water, my guy. All water.
So yeah, anything else you want to say about this topic? Because we want to move on. We got other things we got to get to.
No, no, no. We good, man. That's good.
All right, so let's jump into college football real quick. First, before we get into top 10 matchups for this weekend, I believe they're all in the SEC. Let's talk about Tennessee. You went back home, back to Knoxville, went to your first Tennessee game since when?
It's probably been 4 years, something like that. I've seen like a Tennessee play a non-conference team. Well, at Neyland Stadium. Obviously, I went to Columbia last year, watched Tennessee lose to Missouri. But at Neyland Stadium, I think it's probably been 3 or 4 years since I've been there. And last time I went, like I said, non-conference game, probably against like Chattanooga or something like that. So first big Tennessee game, well, big rivalry SEC
Yep.
game or whatever in Neyland Stadium that I've seen probably in a decade, honestly. So yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
Even though the game was a little bit closer than you expected.
So I mean, I'm saying it's like the atmosphere and everything leading up to it, the tailgate and the getting into the stadium, the just looking across and seeing the Gator fans and stuff, the back and forth trash talking and all that good stuff. First half, well, first possession was electric. Up until the fumble. I mean, it's literally like bang bang bang, like oh snap, we're a well-oiled machine again. And then the fumble really just took the wind out of everything. And the whole rest of the first half was just yeah, it was pretty miserable. It was rough to watch.
Yep.
The good thing was, that defensively we were still playing well. And they're fun to watch on defense. They fly around, man. The defensive line is just super, super impressive. That Jermon McCoy kid, like I was wondering if he was kind of a, flash in the pan type guy after the first few games, but he seems to be pretty locked down there on the corner. And he's really, really impressive. Losing our middle linebacker, our quarterback of the defense really sucked. And just going into the third quarter, like, I'm looking at my dad and we're just like, look, we ain't young anymore. Like if it ain't looking good at the end of this third quarter, we might just pull it up on my phone and go ahead and start walking back, because this is trying to get out of traffic and all that stuff after a game with 105,000 people in a stadium, is not the easiest. But luckily it turned up in the third quarter and we got some, we got a third and fourth quarter and overtime of like electric SEC football, and that was really cool. It wasn't,
Yep.
the most high scoring or anything like that, but on defense and on offense, plays were being made. Third down, the crowd was getting crazy. There was plays that were amazing, and then there was the play with Lagway throws a dot for the touchdown at the end of the fourth quarter. It's like, you're kind of just on your seats the whole time. So we came out with a W. That's what matters. But we talked about this because we're about to talk about Tennessee and Alabama and going into that Alabama game. It's not looking great. But the thing is Alabama's feeling the same way. Like Alabama's happy.
Man.
Like thrilled that 2-point conversion didn't get caught. And like they're feeling very similar. So had I felt like we were coming to play Alabama after when I saw them do it against Georgia, I'd just be like, oh my goodness. But like we're talking about losing to Vanderbilt and damn near losing to South Carolina, back to back. That's kind of wild, it's similar to Tennessee losing to Arkansas and damn near losing to Florida.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like so when I did a show with Phil General, shout out to Drew and JC, man, I made this comment about this was the week after, the week after the Georgia Bama game, and I was like, which is the real team here, right? The Bama that showed up in the first half or the Georgia that showed up in the second half, and maybe it's a little bit of both. In both cases, I think Nico, after setting the world on fire to
Oh, you went mute.
start.
Don't say you're on mute. Oh, there we go. You're back. Somebody calling you? Hey, I can't hear anything. Is it me? Now you're just gonna keep talking. My goodness, this is embarrassing. A1, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. It's still not working for me. Me either.
Can you hear?
Now I can.
Yeah, yep. Like I don't. What was the last thing you heard? My jaw just like completely.
It was died. For a minute. I was like trying to like see if I could.
Yeah, and I was on another screen while I was talking, so I couldn't see. I got ready to move my mouse, and I'm like, my mouse didn't move. Anyway, yeah. Mac, listen, when you're supposed to update your Mac, like it basically is like, yo, I'm about to start messing with everything. Like anyway, that's another story for another day. Long story short, long story less long. I have no idea what Bama we're going to see. I have no idea how good this team is. Yep. They should not be ranked in the top 10, in my opinion. I got Tennessee winning the game just because I think their defensive line is going to get after Milroe. Milroe's got some escapability. Obviously, the back half of the defense for Tennessee is the issue, the corners and the safeties. But I think that front line is going to hold up well enough against Milroe and that team, and I think they're going to be able to run the ball really successfully.
Yeah,
on Alabama.
Yeah, I definitely think, man, the play calling is going to have to be they're going to have to be dialed in, man. And there was just some, like I said, that first possession, man, they're just hitting like those scripted plays. They're hitting on them, and I'm like, okay, this is exactly how we need to be running this game. And then Yeah, man. Once you start, I mean, that whole first half was that turnover and then penalties, man, self-inflicted, getting behind first and 20 and second and 15 and all that kind of stuff. And it's just it's not a recipe for beating anybody. Period.
Yeah.
Like like in the SEC, whatever, you just can't beat teams when you're trying to play first and 20 or whatever it may be. So I think we possess the talent level and the ability to beat Alabama. It's just hard with the last 8 quarters of football that I've watched and having um, literally 2.5 good quarters of it. It's going to be difficult, man. Personally, like I really want to win, and I'm encouraged that the line is like 2.5 points for Alabama. I'm like, so people are thinking this is not, because I thought we were going to be like a touchdown underdog, but it's going to come down to who makes the play. Ryan Williams and Jalen Milroe, are both complete playmakers. Jalen Milroe can take a run 65 yards to the house. Ryan Williams can take it to the house every time he touches it, and it's going to come down to like who makes those big plays. It's just right now I would personally have more faith in Milroe and Williams connecting on those big plays more than I do. I got faith in Dylan Sampson getting 6 yards of carry and running the ball and keeping time of possession, but like then you have to establish no holding calls, no everything. You have to put together 8 and 10 play drives. I think Alabama can score quicker.
Man, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that Vandy game, part of it was a little fluky. The pick six, it was just good defense. Ball gets popped up in the air, and then it gets picked off. Here's the angriest Dolphin fan we know is in the building. Shout out to Ricky. I'm not sure you even like the team. Like, listen, I hate watching my team sometimes, and I'm a little bit more optimistic than you are. Yeah, I think Tennessee, the home field advantage is going to be in their favor. I think
Nayland was rocking. I ain't gonna hold you. Even though we were playing bad when it started getting good, Nayland the whole second half, bro, it was rocking. It's a great home field advantage when it's close and when it's when we're playing well.
Bama should have lost to South Carolina. South Carolina just couldn't make enough plays. The gentleman, the kid was under pressure, Sellers, and he missed a sell to throw, but they should have lost that game. Like I said, I just think Tennessee's going to take it. Y'all let us know what y'all think. Let's jump to this other matchup, Texas versus Georgia. Georgia leads the league in arrests right now. I don't know if the young man who got arrested, if he's going to be playing this weekend. But I got Texas, man, even though it's on the road at Georgia.
Yeah.
I just think, again, I think Texas has been playing the best football of all the top teams in the country. And this is their first true, real test of the season. I think they're going to go in. I think they're going to stay undefeated. What do you think?
I think so. I think it was good to have Quinn Ewers back last week to play a team that he could afford to throw an interception on the first possession, and kind of get a little bit of that rust off, and come back and play better. He can't afford to have a bad first half or anything like that against Georgia. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I think it was good to get him back last week and get him back in the swing of things. Yeah, you can technically.
I mean, right now, I feel like you can. I feel like
again, Georgia at home's gonna be tough.
This is true. Let me not sell it short. True.
Yeah. But I definitely think that Texas is clearly the best team in the SEC. I think they're if we're like grading, it's like A+, and then you got some A- and B. There's not anybody I think that's like shown that they should be up there with Texas right now. But that's me assessing Texas's win against Michigan as a big win. And then Oklahoma, as probably their second biggest win. But Oklahoma's kind of not very good either. So I'm not sitting here acting like Texas has been through some crazy gauntlet, But I mean, hey, it's getting ready to happen. We're going to know a lot about Texas over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
For sure. I mean, look, I don't want to call Miami a fraud. I don't think that's the case, but they got a couple of games they probably should have lost as well in Cal and Virginia Tech. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if there's going to be a true test for Miami. Although, again, I didn't see Virginia Tech pushing them. So who knows? I feel like it's week to week with them on whether or not they are the best. They're definitely the best team in the ACC, though.
And we thought Virginia Tech was so fraudulent after week 1 going to overtime with Vanderbilt, and then now it's like, hey, maybe the fact that.
Yeah. All right. So now it's time. We got a couple more minutes left. So let's get into this NFL this weekend. You see the hat. You see the hat. You see what time it is. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about old stuff, by the way. I want to hear about what happened last year. I want to hear about what happened 2 years ago, what happened in past Super Bowls. We talking about this weekend.
Gotta put my helmet on, man.
We got Niners versus Chiefs going down this weekend, man. As I thought about this game this week, coming up this weekend, I'm sad I couldn't be there, but I mean, the cost of traveling is way too high, and I'm not made of money. Otherwise, me and my family would be in the building. What kind of phone is that?
It's the Z Fold.
Oh, I was just like,
nephew calling.
I was like, what? I was like, what kind of? I guess that ringer takes me back to like 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so when I first thought about this game, when I was at the shop talking to the guy, shout out to J Money, shout out to Mano, and they said, "Well, who you think gonna win?" I'm like, I think the Chiefs are gonna win. And that wasn't me being a pessimist. Again, you've heard me say this all year long. I still think the Niners are a fringe playoff team. They've already blown 2 fourth quarter 10-point leads to division rivals. However, I got the Niners winning this game.
As you should.
It's not as I should. I just think that they are in a more desperate place than the Chiefs are right now. They've lost to this team the last four times they've played them with relatively some of the same. Fred Warner's been there. Kittle's been there for all of them. Charvarius Ward's been on both sides of this thing. Mahomes, like the key characters have all been there, including the head coaches, right? So this isn't something where they're the last 18 matchups. No, they've lost 2 regular season, 2 Super Bowl matchups to them. I think that this is the resistible force versus the movable object, though, right? In that the Chiefs are not a great, at least to this point, haven't been a great passing attack. They've been serviceable, and their line has been suspect at times. But the Niners have struggled to. Granted, last week against Seattle, they were able to generate a lot of pressures, but not sacks. But other than that game, they have not been able to really put quarterbacks under duress, right? So can the line that the tackles in particular that struggle to protect Mahomes, can they do it? And can the players other than Nick Bosa, get pressure on Mahomes? So I don't know. Do you think he's trying to get on the show?
Oh, my dad.
Oh, well, shoot. Do we need to hang up?
No, I don't think so. No, we good.
Appreciate that love for the hat. Shout out to my bro, man. My little bro got me this hat. Real quick, what you think about this matchup?
I think that the Niners are going to win convincingly.
Ooh.
I just think, to me, the Chiefs have just been kind of like teetering on that first loss like every game. I thought the Saints were going to do it, but the Chiefs played better against the Saints than I think they did against the Chargers and a couple of other teams. But it's at San Francisco, right? I mean, it's at San Francisco.
Yep.
I don't think Juju's going to be playing this weekend.
I know his hamstring, right?
Yeah, and he was a big target for us last game. Kareem Hunt has been kind of a breath of fresh air, but I don't foresee Hunt and Carson Steele, having big days against the 49ers defense. There's just too little playmakers and things on offense that I just don't foresee happening. I think like you said, like they're just tired of getting beat by the Chiefs. They really are. They got, Kittle and Debo and Jawan and Purdy and all of them are like, hey, look, if we lose to these guys limping in here, but are just casually not playing their best football, being in here, come on now,
Although, look, Andy Reid, I think it's 16-3. It's either 16-3 or 21-3. I think it's 21-3 after bye weeks. So really, really good. Also, number 22, Isaac Yiadom. He's the mark. Whoever he's lined up against, you better believe Patrick Mahomes is spying him out and saying,
yeah, that's the guy we're attacking. That's the guy we're attacking. But listen, Chiefs Kingdom, let me holler at y'all real quick. I know y'all have had the upper hand in this matchup for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Won a couple of big games. Let me tell you something. If my squad comes through victorious, you better believe I'm going to be in y'all mentions because y'all been harassing me. And I don't want to hear about what happened in the past. I want to hear about no old stuff. We talking about this Sunday. We get that W. I'm getting on social media, and I'm stunting on y'all. I'm stunting hard. And I don't want to, again, don't bring up, no. We would do Super Bowl. No. It's week 7, 2024 season. I don't know if we make, as far as I'm concerned, this is my Super Bowl. I have no idea if this team is going to be playing for anything, if they're going to make the postseason, let alone be playing any meaningful games in the postseason. So this is it for me. They win this game, I'm satisfied with my season. They lose this game, I'm not saying the season's over, but I didn't think they was making the playoffs anyway. So it's just proving me more right. All right. So I'm just letting y'all know these are the stakes. I'm backing my boys. I don't normally back them. So, hey, while I'm thinking about it, I said this last Thursday, San Francisco, don't embarrass me in front of my friends. They're watching. Do not embarrass me in front of these people. Bring your A game, do your best, and bring home that W because y'all need it badly, for real. Y'all 3-3, and y'all should really be like 5-1. I don't really want to talk Devontae Adams trade. Yeah. I think we're gonna call it a night, man. We about to go, we're about to meet up, celebrate one of the homies. Shout out for their accomplishment that they've achieved. So, anything else you want to talk about, man?
No, I'm good. Now Lex Luthor's calling. Oh, that's why Cadence is calling. He's like, I got great news. And Lex Luthor texted me, oh, that's really your nephew? I'm like, oh, man. Here we go.
A-Ward, manager. New title.
First thing Lex says is, let's get him in on the spaces.
I mean, honestly, that's a great start. That's a great place to start.
It's a great start for a kid,
So for a kid, absolutely. So, last thing I will say on the way out the door, shout out to the WNBA. I didn't get a chance to watch the second half. Great finish. Sabrina Ionescu putting Kayla McBride on skates.
Yep.
Hitting the jumper to win the game. Logo 3 to close the game out, man. Listen, if you have not had a chance to watch any of the WNBA finals, first of all, shame on you. Number one, but number 2, watch those games. You had game 1, game 3, I believe it was 18-point comebacks in both.
Yep.
Major drama in the fourth quarter, overtime in that game, dang near buzzer beater in game 3. Game 2, the Liberty controlled most of that game. It really wasn't a lot of drama there. Watch game 4 is do or die. I'm glad next year they go to a 7-game series, I believe, in the WNBA finals. So we can get at least 7 games of this. Hopefully we get at least 5. Great matchup, great drama, great games. Tune in. Last thing I will say. I didn't watch the second half because I was watching Agatha All Along with Wifey. New episode dropped at 8 o'clock. We wanted to tune in, tap in, and watch that. By the time Agatha finished, the game had literally just ended, and I got on Twitter to see Sabrina hit that shot.
So far.
To you guys out there, and maybe to you ladies, let me not sell y'all short, who love sports. Let me tell y'all this. Here's one thing I've learned as I've gotten older. You don't have to watch every game. You can be a family man or a family woman. You can spend time with your spouse, spend time with your kids, go play with your dog. The game will be there. You can go watch the highlights. You want to go back and DVR it. See, 20 years ago, you had to kind of watch it live because everybody's talking about it. It's a little different time now. We're more of a social media culture. You can go catch the highlights on YouTube. You can go catch watch YouTube TV will show you the significant plays if you want to see those. Spend time with your people. Hang out with them. Though, have non-negotiables. Ward's non-negotiable is Tennessee. It does not matter where he is. If Tennessee's playing, he's watching. Thanks. For me, it's Notre Dame. It does not matter. I've been at a funeral repast. I've been at milestone birthday parties. It does not matter where Notre Dame is. If I have a signal and a phone, I'm watching. Yeah. And my wife I'm not going to say we have this understanding.
Yeah.
But she know what time it is.
Fact.
So, like I said, have some non-negotiables. Have one team that you just can't miss a play, can't miss a game. But for the rest of it, if you got something on the game, they either gonna make it or they not. If you got fantasy players in the game, they gonna produce or they not. You
Fact.
watching is not going to help anything. You feel me? Shout out J Money, man. I'm gonna holler at you tomorrow. Niner,
All right,
you
man.
see the hat. You see the hat, man. We about to get out of here, J Money. I'm sorry. We started a little bit early. We about to get out of here. I'll holler at you tomorrow, man. Please remember, you can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice. Wherever you get the good podcast, searching for It's a Black and White Thing. Give us 5 stars. Share the broadcast. Same thing for YouTube. Matter of fact, J Money, I might have you on the recap next Thursday of what happened with the game. Trent, I almost said something mean on that. My family would look at me strange if I said it. Anyway, you can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to YouTube, searching for Brains and Bars. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button. Share. Tell a friend and tell a friend. It's those boys again. And this is Thursday Night Potluck, man. Y'all be easy. Have a good night. Ward, I see you in about maybe 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes. Y'all be easy. Good night.
Deuces.